recent discovery of the 215 children that were killed as the result of being inside of a residential school in Kamloops, the uncovering it has really put a spotlight across the country for these issues Aboriginal people have been dealing with literally for centuries. There's going to be a ride. We're heading downtown to just stand in solidarity with the Aboriginal people, because there has been some really disgusting, horrible atrocities that have happened to the people. And as a result of European settlers coming to North America all those years ago, quite the dark and pretty muffled history. You know, personally, I do not remember learning anything of the residential school system. So what is it anyway? So when us European settlers came, we brought our idea of God and our superiority complex, and we regarded the natives as being savages. So a way that people thought that they could take the savage out of the native, as it was quoted many times back then, and was to take these children and to put them into residential schools. The entire purpose of it was to destroy families, for kids to lose their native culture. So it was all federally funded and ran by the churches. And the first one opened up in 1831, actually. And it's estimated that over 150,000 children passed through the residential school system. This issue is usually regarded as something that's in the past, that's been long gone. But believe it or not, the last residential school closed was in 1996. Which is absolutely crazy to think about. Like, there's still people alive today that pass through the residential system, and it's just been an intergenerational issue because the indigenous was totally stripped of all of their culture, any connection to their culture. As kids going through the schools, they weren't allowed to speak their native language. They had to learn English or learn French, and they had to worship a god they did not understand. And apart from all the emotional trauma of being stripped away from your parents at such a young age and being thrown into a European style classroom, learning European style rules and laws and dressing to be a civilian by European standards, there was also hundreds of reports of sexual misconduct. Kids were often beaten for breaking rules. So when they started building all of these residential schools, they were purposely putting them far away from the Aboriginals for the sole purpose of making it harder for kids to be able to, A, for one, run, maybe escape and get home, and two, making it hard for parents to visit their children. So there was literally kids that were in these residential school system for many years, and they were stripped away from their parents, and they didn't even get to see their parents. The emotional toll of that alone is a burden that I can't even begin to imagine what it was like. These residential schools, it would be a full-time place where they would live and work, unfortunately. So malnutrition was a really bad issue. Close quarters, disease, tuberculosis would all run rampant within these schools. And because they were so underfunded, the federal government couldn't afford to be paying for the maintenance and the upkeep and everything else on it. So more often than not, the kids were the ones doing all the work. So there's been some rough estimates as to the number of deaths that have happened, but due to just being lost in history, and the church is not keeping accurate records of the students that pass through, there is some estimates of somewhere around 3,000 children who were killed. Some people say upwards of 6,000. So with the recent discovery of a mass grave of that had 215. People suggest that there could be even way more kids that died because of all of this. So it's just a super dark, fucked up situation. And you know, it's something that I was just reading up on this morning, just because we're doing this ride, and I wanted to just film it all and just, you know, help shine a light on it as well, because it's a really dark part of Canada's history, and the Indigenous people are still reeling from the effects of this stuff today. And it was truly a cultural genocide is what it was. So the only thing you can do these days is just you can shine a light on it and to be a voice for the unheard. Okay, so it's actually the day after we did this ride out. Now, it was hot as balls and my GoPro had died, so I decided to go home. Now, if I had known what was gonna happen, I would have stuck around and I would have made the effort of charging my GoPro. But anyways, I'm just on my way down to Ryerson University because I want to see the aftermath of last night. Now, Ryerson University, why is it called Ryerson? So, believe it or not, there was a guy called Egerton Ryerson. So, apart from being a contender for having the fucking stupidest goddamn name I've ever heard in my life, he was an influential factor of Canadian educational system, and also designed schools based on class. So whether you're going to be poor, aka a criminal, or you're based on color, or based on religion. So he had designed a number of different style of schools for the type of class and race that you were. So after the peaceful assembly, people were hanging out at Ryerson University. So this university right here was named after Egerton Ryerson. And there was a statue dedicated to him somewhere around here. I personally don't know exactly where it is, but everybody had come together and they fucking pulled the goddamn statue down. And not only that, they also beheaded him and threw his head into the lake, which in its own right is fucking badass. He's actively stealing Native children. See, there's been a lot of shit that I've seen that to this day, the most fucked up shit is still happening. So all the shoes for the children that were dug up. Oh man, yeah, I couldn't hang out there too long. This fucking shit's got me all tearing up, and I don't know why it's hitting me so hard, you know, the fucking atrocities that has happened for us to be here. And maybe it has to do with the fact that, you know, I'm a Newfoundlander, a proud Newfoundlander. What happened to the people of Newfoundland? The Aboriginals there, the Beothuk, there's none of them left. They were killed to extinction. We came on their land, and just like that fucking quote said, we came on the land and then we buried them in it. And that is just seriously fucked up if you really want to think about it. And I know there's going to be people that are going to be listening to this and they're going to hear that I'm getting all emotional, thinking, yo, what a pansy ass fucking liberal bitch that I am. But let me give you a little bit of a thought experiment. Alright? Just think of the world as it is that you know. And then all of a sudden, an alien species lands right in the middle of our city of Toronto, or let's say a big city, New York City, London, Tokyo, and they just decide to set up camp. You know, we try to talk to them. We don't understand their language. We don't understand them. We don't understand their technology. We don't understand nothing. You know what they're gonna look at us as? They're gonna look at us. The alien species is going to look at us the same way that the European colonizers looked at Native Americans. But they're going to look at all of us as a human species, because that's, after all, that's all we are. Collectively, that's all we are, is a human species. But the European settlers, when they came here with their idea of God, you know, they looked at the natives as savages. And an alien species is going to look at us just the same. A species that can travel intergalactically is not going to pay no attention to a species that's still warring with itself. So just think about that. Think about an alien species coming here and landing, setting up shop, setting up home. This is going to be their new home. They see a shit ton of resources that are being able to mine. You know, think about 100 years after they land here. You know, we've tried to have treaties, we've tried to make peace, we've tried to do everything in our power, we've tried fighting back, and it ain't just gonna work. And then they take us and they fucking put us in the residential schools, just like we did to the natives. You know, we gotta forget English, we gotta forget our God, we gotta forget our perceptions of the universe, and we gotta learn everything that they understand as the universe. And they take our children, and they make them, for the last century and a half, force them into what is essentially, you know, what is essentially like it's a prison camp. It's a prison camp for children to learn and to forget about our own culture, our own history, our own species. Right, so think about that. There's so much left and right, here and there, what's right or wrong. Gotta have some human decency and some human empathy. Right, what we did to the Aboriginal peoples is absolutely wrong. And you know, that's basically the same for any expanding civilization, right? You know, what the Romans did to basically anybody that lived north of them. What Israel is doing to Palestine is wrong. Everybody has a right to live, and everybody has a right to their own cultures and their own beliefs and their own, what they think is right. And so long as that does not infringe on somebody else's happiness, then who the fuck am I or you or somebody else to say that's not what's gonna happen? Then you are free to do whatever the fuck you want to do. Whatever makes you happy is what makes you happy. So anyways, I'll probably end off this video right here. So if you've made it this far, then you know, give it a thumbs up, drop a comment. Do you agree with what I said? Do you disagree? Did you enjoy the video? Give it a thumbs up. If you disagreed, you know, I hate all these people that just drop a dislike. Like, fucking tell me in the comments what you didn't like about it, alright? I would appreciate that, because I want to make better content for everybody. I want people to watch it, and I want them to enjoy it. So don't just give a thumbs down, alright? Drop a comment, tell me what's up. Alright? I like to believe I got a little bit of thick skin, so I did a little bit of research before I went out to the ride out, and you know, I'm sorry if I got something wrong, I said something wrong, you know, please just correct me. So anyways, until next time, ride safe.